Good morning. My name is Jay, and I am coming live from Pinnacle Peak, the top of the Pinnacle Peak. It's 2,900 feet above sea level, and I thought I'd just do a quick check-in just to kind of touch base on a couple of things. As many of you are aware, following my journey, I am on a 30-day fast. I am in day 5, and I was just thinking a little bit about the fact how I woke up this morning and decided to take a hike, except a very short hike. I usually take this to the end of the trail, and it's about 3.5 miles. But I decided today to attempt just to make it to the peak and then come back down. So I've got a Fitbit on. I've been monitoring my heart rate. The highest it went was about 110, which is remarkable. So I'm happy about that. I feel good. I've got my my water bladder on me, and I've basically kept it to my mouth most of the time, not the entire time coming up the hill. But I wanted to check in and just share with those of you that may have some current concerns and a little bit of a misunderstanding as to what it is I'm actually doing. Is that I didn't just come into this just head first. I didn't just dive in blindly. I spent a lot of time preparing. I didn't know I was preparing for this at the time, but on the back end of it now, I have the awareness that I've been preparing my mind, my body, and soul for this adventure. I started, well, first of all, I spent the last 35 months riding my bike 7 days a week at the beach, a minimum of 10 miles a day, some days 15, and many days 20 plus. Good morning to those of you that are watching live. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you tracking and following me on this journey. But besides that, I cleaned up my nutrition. I got rid of all fried foods. I got rid of anything and everything that's white. No more white bread, no more white rice, no more white potatoes. Anything white I took out, and I either eliminated it or replaced it with brown or black. Matter of fact, I found a liking for black rice, and so that black rice is actually healthier than brown. So I changed my nutrition, and my meats, I ate wild-caught salmon predominantly, once in a while another type of wild-caught fish, and maybe once or twice a week chicken. In the past 6 months, I also went to something that's referred to as intermittent fasting, and there's a number of different types of intermittent fasts. So depending on who you ask what their definition is, it'll be different. But what I was doing was, in the past 6 to 8 months, is I'd have my first meal of the day at about noon when I come back for my morning routines, and that would basically be a smoothie, a power green smoothie with some fruit. And it was just, so basically I was drinking a liquid, and then I wouldn't eat my meal until dinner time, which was typically around any time between 5 and 7. And then I would be done for the day until the next morning. So an intermittent fast is I wouldn't eat from, let's say, 7 p.m. all the way through until 12 noon, or 11:30 or 12 noon the next day. So that's an intermittent fast. No snacking, no chips. None of that I was ingesting into my body. And then the last week prior to starting the fast, I hiked every day, an extreme hike, to get my body physically prepared, as well as I cut back on my calorie intake even more so. Eliminated in the last 3 days all fish, all meat, and was 100% vegan. And those meals basically were my power smoothie at noon. I'd have my dinner, which was soup, vegetable soup. So I did all that, not realizing that I was preparing for this 30-day fast. And so that's how I got here. And I'm feeling good. My energy level's a bit down. Right now, obviously, I just did a hike, but I took my time. It should have taken me less than 30 minutes. It took me an hour. I stopped a lot. I rested. I looked at the scenery. I enjoyed exactly what I was looking at. Oh man, I got so many people live. Adele, thank you for joining me from South Africa. Barbara Douglas. Yes, Adele, thank you for being here. Barbara, thanks for joining me this morning. Lunia, Marion, thanks for joining me. Jutta, Carlo, I've got people from all over the world, globally speaking. Nicole, Sherry, Angel, Divine, thank you for joining me. Simon, Schumann, thanks for joining me as well. So in any event, I prepared for this, and I did my best to prepare, and then I got really educated. Of course, there's always more that I could do, and I continue each day to spend some time online doing more research and seeing what more nuggets I can pick up to help me get through this fast. Just to clarify, I am not doing 100% water. I am, I'd say, 95% water, although technically what I've added to my fast is a green juice, and it is a homemade, whole food, 100% organic greens. So what I have in that, I use a juicing machine, so technically it's a water fast that I've added a green juice to, and that's for my nutrients and minerals, to make sure that my body has what it needs. And what that includes is kale, spinach, celery, ginger, turmeric, a green apple. Tried just a handful of strawberries yesterday, but they were frozen, so they didn't juice too well. I think that pretty much covers what I have in my juice. It's an 18 ounces what I drank yesterday, and my intention is to probably drink one a day. And that's it. Other than that, yesterday I drank 140 ounces of reverse osmosis alkaline water, which I have coming through my faucet now. I invested in a water system from Mark at the Urban Spring before I headed out of Huntington Beach. So I'm fueling my body with an alkaline water. From what I could gather on my testing, it's somewhere in the 8+ range. It may be 8.2 or 8.3. And I've spent the last 4 days primarily resting, working from home, working in a reclining position, allowing my body to just really rest. I took a couple of walks at nighttime, just in the neighborhood, nothing significant for me, but just wanted to keep my body moving a bit. So here I am today. I am gonna jump off now. Thank you for joining me. I'll give you a little bit of a view of what I've experienced this morning. I'm at the peak of, it's called Pinnacle Peak. It's my favorite, absolutely favorite trail to be on. This is the first peak here, and then there's a crossover to a second mountain range, which you can see right there straight ahead. And that one is the extreme part. There's a sign that says strenuous beyond this point. And most days I actually take that all the way down to the bottom. And you can see other mountain ranges in the far distance. So that's what I got for the moment. Unsure how. Good morning, Mary. Thanks for catching me. Thanks for being on. Lalina, thank you for joining me. Jutta, thank you so much. John Rios, thanks for joining me. Hi, Barbara. Adele, thank you so much for being here this morning and supporting me through this journey. I tell you what, so many people are like, I get a lot of private messages right now, and they're like, oh man, that's crazy. I don't know how you're doing it. I couldn't do that, and I don't believe that. I believe that's just a lie you're telling yourself. I believe that if I could do this, we're all capable of doing whatever we put our minds to. If you ask any professional athlete how much of their game is physical versus mental, every single time they'll give you about the same answer. It's 80% mental, 20% physical. So it's kind of like me this morning on this hike. You know, there are so many times I was just ready to just stop. and quit, not because my body was telling me, but my head was telling me. My thoughts were telling me, my mind was telling me, just don't push yourself. You don't want to get yourself in trouble. And so in those moments, I just turned up my music, I sang louder, and I just took a break, and then I continued on the path, literally on the trail. And so that's what I got. We all can do this. We're all capable of doing it. It's been done for over 2,000 years. It goes back long before you and I were alive. And there's so much scientific evidence and proof of how doing a fast can heal your internal stem cells, your organs, your blood flow, and reverse all kinds of diseases. So that's why I'm doing it. That's my intention. I will just take it one day at a time. I've set the intention of 30 days. We'll see. I'm going to take it one day at a time because I don't have tomorrow yet. Tomorrow's future. I refer to that as future tripping. So I'm here today, right here, right now. I'm not in yesterday. I'm not going to go tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to stay right here, right now, focused on this moment today. And let's see who else I got. Rich Bettenhauser from New York, New York. Thanks for joining me. Carrie, thanks for being here. Vishnu, thank you for joining me. Abigail, thanks for being on with me. Jeffrey, Nicholas, thanks for being here. Kellyanne, thank you so much for being here this morning and joining me on this path, this journey of water fasting. Day 5. I'm thrilled that my weight only dropped a half a pound. I don't have a whole lot more that I think I can afford to lose. I was at 58 pounds down when I started to fast. I've lost 5.5 pounds on this now. So I'm down to 137, which is a miracle. The last time I was that weight, I was a freshman in college. And none of my clothing is fitting me, my shorts. I'm pretty much out. I've got nothing left. I went to Costco last night and picked up a pair of shorts for a size 30, which I know is going to shortly not be big enough, at least for this period. And so if I got 25 days, I'll manage it. I'll do what I have to do to get through. And it's not a long-term weight loss. The weight will come back on once I come off the water fast, and then I'm going to transition to a 100% vegan diet. And I was pretty much there the last 3 days prior, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. So that's what I got. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening. If you're in the United States, have a great day. If you're overseas, have a beautiful evening. Thank you for joining me. And I'll keep posting from time to time when I have the energy. And either I'll come on live or I will do a written blog. Have a beautiful day. Last comment. Whatever you got going on today, no matter how many things you got on that to-do list, please, I encourage you to take time to do something for yourself. Do some self-care. Because this is what I learned when I started on this journey 35 months ago. Because I had no self-care in my life. I lived in to-do lists. I lived in my career. I lived in just taking care of everybody else. And that left no time for me. And what I've learned over these 35 months is this, is that through self-care, it was the gateway. It was the gateway to loving myself. And until I understood that, until I experienced what true, healthy self-care was, I had no shot at loving myself. So I encourage you, take some time. If today's the first day, make today that day. Do some self-care, be gentle to yourself, and enjoy the moment. Take care. Love you all. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time. Bye.